Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the 1989 Japanese exclusive crossformer, as he was known. This is, of course, Blue Bacchus. So very quick apologies, and the reason why this has taken me so long to do this particular video and review is, as you can see, he is not complete. However, as most of you will have perhaps noticed, that this is a Japanese retool and redeco of the 1989 Mega Pretender crossblades. So what I'm going to do is, of course, use some parts from him to complete the video. I might as well just keep him there for a few seconds as well, just very simply to explain exactly that in 1989 the West, Hasbro etc. made this particular Mega Pretender, as he was known, and in Japan in 1989 they were lucky enough to still have cartoons. Now the cartoons obviously weren't the Sunbow ones. This was from the Japanese exclusive cartoon known as Victory, and he was known as a crossformer. So that's pretty much the main differences. Everything else, the transformation schemes are the same. The inner robot, to be honest, looks identical, but obviously the outer shell has indeed been retooled. Now, to be honest, this wasn't the only retooled and slightly, well, massively redecoed figure from 1989. They also had Black Shadow in Victory, which of course was the Thunderwing figure, and there is a full complete video on this chap on this particular channel as well, if you want to see him in more detail. And then I'll show you a bit later on as well some other Pretenders. In fact, let's do it now. So there was 4 Japanese exclusive Pretenders. These 2 were from Victory. This is Metal Hawk from Super God Master Force, and then this is the Pretender that actually houses Grand Maximus's head inside it as well. So they had 4 exclusive Pretenders in Japan, and they are all of them to 1988 to 1989. Right, back to Blue Bacchus anyway. Now I just think that the color scheme on him, to be honest, works incredibly well, and I say always, since I've started doing these videos, I've got a new appreciation for Pretender figures. As a kid I didn't really like them, but since doing these videos, I think Crossblades, for instance, is one of my favourite mainline figures, not including the Japanese ones. So what I am going to do, as I say, is piece some of the parts from him to be able to complete the video. So we can already see that we need these parts, which would go on the side of his arms for the helicopter mode. We need some blades. I need another little gun, because I've only got the one of the silvers, and I think that's pretty much it, in honesty. So there's all the pieces borrowed. Let's have a look. We'll start off with looking at the little robot. In fact, the reason why we're going to look at the little robot is because this is a multifunctional little robot. He is so cool. So there he is. He's super basic, don't get me wrong. You can just spin his arm around like so. This is transformation rather than articulation. Same for his legs moving and his toes moving. You can transform this into a couple of different ways, to be honest. In fact, I'll just show you. We're going to put him in the back of him first. So we're going to use the Pretender gimmick first and foremost. So we're going to bring the arms around to the front, and then we're going to bring that through the middle, and then we're going to slightly prise apart the legs and just point the toes forward. Now this should, and I'm saying should, I've never done this before, so I'm hoping that it does, and I'm hoping it's not too difficult. This should come off at the back. It is very slowly. Is there something hindering it? Oh, sometimes I wish I wouldn't do these. Right, that's actually opened not too bad. So this should, as I say, fit. It looks like I need to point his toes a little lower at first. Down there like that. And he has, yeah, he's fitting pretty snugly. Now it would clip in. There is space, you know, it would clip in, but for obvious reasons I'm just not going to. So that is, of course, the main Pretender gimmick that he's got in how you could hide him. He can't, unfortunately, hold these smaller weapons when he's in the larger mode. These pretty much, you could actually, yeah, you could store them on the back like so when he's in this particular mode. And to be honest, that's pretty much how we're going to use them in a second anyway, I think. So there is the main robot mode. And the main robot mode as well, this is what made him different from the other Pretenders, has a bit of articulation. Now, I mean a bit of articulation, literally you can move his arms. That is all the articulation there is. But this is what makes these Pretenders incredibly good and way better than the others, is the shells actually transform as well. So if I take the inner bot outside of here, and if I pop that down carefully, missing hopefully everything, bringing that forward. Now this is where you're going to attach the side parts of the helicopter. So that pretty much, I was going to say covers up the fist, but it doesn't really. These will attach to the side like so. And there we go. Now the legs, the waist will fold over, and then indeed these fold over at the kneecaps as well. We can then turn these forward because obviously they're like a bit of boosters or air. I can't think exactly what they're called. My knowledge of helicopters, to be honest, isn't the greatest. Right, that is going to go there like so. We can then attach the huge gun to the back, and indeed the rotor blades. Is it going to fit? There we go. Open them up. And then what you would do, as I say, is you'd attach these little guns on the front like so. And this is just your standard. Oh, I don't want to push too hard, you see, just in case I make a hole that I don't really need. But that is your Pretender transformed into helicopter mode 1, shall we say. Now, the little robot as well will transform and it will attach to the front. Now, actually, what I like to do as well is this guy, I suppose, has got a couple of different modes. You can have this close together and that up there, and then pop this on it like so. I use that as one mode, especially when it's cross blades. Or you can, of course, I'm sure you can guess, you can fold these up. You can still have this attached over the top of it, just about. And you can also pop the little guns into the side of the hands, because it's still just the hand grip, like so. In fact, let me just bring you in a couple of my other little cross blades ones, just to show you which other alternate modes that we've got. Let's just move that out of the way then. And as I say, you can configure all of these. So this is folded over with the arms and the booster pack at the bottom. That is one mode you can make. And indeed, that's another mode, which I think I've just shown you. And then with this as well, you could even do as I've put the guns on the side and this underneath. So you can have a lot of fun with such a super basic figure, as you can see. But this is where it gets even cleverer. And before we get there, I want to very quickly show you this. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the box for him. I have the box for Black Shadow, but this is how he would have come packaged, in a box pretty much exactly the same as this. The only thing that would be different, as obviously apart from him, is his number would be different. The D stood for Destrons, and his number would correspond slightly differently. But then we've got on the back the beautiful Victory artwork. And the good thing is, a lot of us are now very familiar with Deathsaurus, Star Saber, etc., and figures like that. So that's just some brilliant artwork that I wanted to share with you as well. Right, let's get around to putting this together all as one giant, I suppose, helicopter then. So what we're looking at doing is, if I take hold of this part here, let's get all the little parts ready. So this again is where I do actually have to apologize. I've had to stop and re-edit and have a go at this a couple of times. And the main reason for this is I can't get him into the main mode for you. So the main mode would be, I'd take this off here. These arms would be down at the side. This would then be attached to the roof. And this is where I've got the problem, guys. I really hope you understand. What you need to do is you need to open the legs up. You need to open up where you hide the robot in, and then what you do is you tuck the head into it. Now mine will go as far as there, and it just stops. And it could mean that I just need to apply some grease, some lubricant or whatever, some WD-40 there, but it's just the whole plastic is moving, and I'm sure you appreciate that I don't want to do it just in case I snap his head off. So what you would do is that would be folded into there. So of course his head would be completely covered up, and then that would attach at the front like this. So to be honest, this is exactly what it would look like from an aerial point of view. But I just can't run the risk. Oh no, I haven't put the little guns on, sorry. I need to put the little guns back on the top like so. Or I could put them in his hands, to be honest, but yeah, you wouldn't see the head would be covered up, and this is what it would be looking like. So again, I hate to sort of do this in videos, you know, I've had to do it a couple of times with some third-party figures, but that's just because they're too ridiculous to transform. This one, I hope you understand, I just don't want to snap his head off, and it isn't worth it at the moment. I mean, hopefully I've given you enough of an idea of what it's going to look like. I can of course refer you to the crossblades video that I've done a couple of versions of, to be honest, but I can just show you there exactly what it would look like. But again, imagine it with different colors. Now, to be honest, I don't think that I'm ever going to have a play around with this again. I think once I get him now back into his robot mode, that's the way he's going to stay, unless I'm lucky enough to pick up another one, or maybe even a broken one, just so I can have a play around, you know, with the shell, just to perhaps re-edit or commence. I don't know which word I'm after. Revisit, that's the word. I have to revisit the video. But I'm really lucky with this, you know, all the clips and everything are still attached. Everything is where it pretty much should be. So the last thing that I want to do is go and snap his head off. Again, apologies for that. Hopefully you understand. I'm just still going to attach all the parts that I've got of him, and I'm going to then re-put him. I'm just going to pop him back on his shelf. As I say, if I get something in the future, I will obviously revisit the video and aim to do it some more justice. But in the meantime, this has been the 1989 Japanese exclusive crossformer figure, Blue Bacchus. Hope you still enjoyed watching it anyway, and hope you still enjoyed looking at a figure that I don't think there's many videos online of him, to be honest. That's another reason exactly why I wanted to do it. But there you go, guys. There he is, Blue Bacchus.